what we're doing is 1.7. This is the last section in the book. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get this done. I don't know what I was spelling there. Okay, we're going to start with formulas, and then we're going to do literal. Equations. Formulas and literal equations. So let's start out with a formula. Let's start out with an easy formula and just kind of go over what we are doing with these. Okay. These formulas are basically not going to be complete formulas that we're going to go over. We're basically just going to go over the substitution aspect of formulas. I'll show you a complete one later. But we're going to be given a formula like that, and I'm going to say A equals -3, B equals 6, and C equals -2. Okay, we are going to use PEMDAS to do it. Your calculator can handle it just fine. Your responsibility is just to do algebra, so you can use your calculator to get this done, but your responsibility is you need to do this. This is how you show you work on this. Okay, does everybody see what I just did? I use substitution to replace all the letters with numbers. That's how formula works. The formula is a generic problem, and the numbers, you fill it in. You get this from science and stuff. Okay, but for our purposes, we're not going to have any use for them. We're just going to look at actual formulas and how they can be done. I can't really make this aspect harder, so we can look at something that might be harder. We might have something like this. Okay. I might have something like that. I keep forgetting which pen works better. Okay. And then I'm going to give you A is 3, B is 4, and C is -5. Okay, and again, I have regular numbers and variables. All you have to do is substitute in 4A plus 2 times B plus C. All right, you can do it in the calculator, like I said, or you can just work it out. If you don't have a calculator, this is no big deal, but you do have to use PEMDAS. So that means you got to do parentheses first. Then exponents. I don't have any exponents. Then you're supposed to do from left to right multiplication division. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times -1 is -2. Okay, then we do add, subtract from left to right, so that would be 10. Okay, you'll get the same thing in your calculator. So that's how we're going to do with our formula aspect of this, where we just remember how to plug things in. Okay, we might have some real formulas later, but for now, I just want you to remember how to plug things in. Moving on to literal equations, and I'm going to give you a real equation. Let's see if anybody's done this one yet. Has anybody ever done this one in science yet? Have you got to distance equals rate times time?
Yes.
Okay. So the purpose of literal equations and what we're going to do with literal equations, it is rearranging an equation to be in the way you want it. Okay, so in this case, we're going to solve for r. And the purpose of solving for r is, let's say we had 100 problems to do. Each problem gave us the distance and the time, but I want to solve for r. I don't want to do algebra every time. I would do algebra once and then just plug it in to get the answer. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do the algebra once and rewrite it and create a new equation, a new formula. So to solve for r, that means to get r by itself. That means I need to do my algebra to get everything away from t. And so, from r. So that means r times t, so the opposite, or the inverse, would be divide by t. And I'm done already. Okay, this is an ugly way to write it. It's technically right. I would rather write it like this. Okay. So if I knew what distance was, so like I would say that distance was 400, and then I knew what time was, let's call that 2 hours. What's my rate going to be? Well, it's going to be easy to do now. I just do 400 times 2, and so my rate is going to actually be what? 200 miles per hour. It's pretty fast, right? So that's how you use it. We're not really going to be worried about using it for now. We're really worried about rearranging it so we can do the algebra work and then the numbers just plug in. All right, so I'm going to basically show you some of the problems we're going to do. And we're going to get this going. This is not hard, but it is confusing. So you're just going to have to follow along, and we will try to make it less confusing. But I know that it is confusing, so just trust me on that. That is not the button I meant to push. Okay. All right, so I'm going to write you a problem, and we're going to rearrange it together. Maybe. There we go. All right, let's start with something pretty basic. Remember, my z's have a line through them, so you don't think they're a 2. We're going to solve for x. Okay. So just think about your normal algebra. I want x by itself. That means I need to get rid of the m. And remember, this is just a number. A variable is just a number, but a number that is a mystery. So all I have to do is do the opposite of that, the inverse of that. So the inverse of minus would be, and I'm done. This is a better way to write it. What if I wrote instead of this, I wrote this? What do we think?
Fine.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Same thing. Order doesn't really matter. I will get to problems where order does matter, and I'll tell you when they do. But in this case, order does not matter. All right, that one was good. Let's try this one right here. Let's solve for x again. I think I just do this, right? Is that right? Don't I have to do anything else? All right, let's see if this next one's harder. A plus C equals B plus D. And we're going to solve for A. And sometimes my A's have a really long tail.
Is that B plus D?
As B plus D. So I need to get A by itself, yeah? What do I need to do? Is this it? How do I write that? B plus D minus C. Is that it?
Yes.
Yep, that's it. All right, surely it's going to get harder. Okay, let's try this one. Z equals xy over m. Solve for x. Okay. Well, the first thing I like to do anytime I see a fraction, and I don't care what it is, I like to kill the fraction. How do we kill fractions? We cross multiply, right? So let's just rewrite this as xy times 1 is xy. Z times m is that right?
Yeah.
I just cross multiplied, right? Bam, bam. Now I don't have a fraction. I want x by itself. I think we've done a problem like this already. I'm going to divide by x equals zm over y. Okay. There's a couple more that are difficult. And so I'm going to show you those right now. So I'm going to do two more, and that's it. All right. Some people get really bothered by, do I need to go back? If I need to go back right here? Yeah. So yeah, make sure you get that written down. Okay. And if you need to see it again, I can just give you the notebook. Okay. That's why I do it in the notebook, so I can just hand it to people that I go too fast for. And I do go fast sometimes. All right, this one can confuse people. All right. Solve for D. Okay, I wrote a whole bunch of letters. Does that matter?
No.
Does it make it harder?
No.
I need to divide. This means multiply. So I need to divide by everything I don't want. I don't want A. I don't want B. I don't want C. I do want D. And I don't want E. So I have to do that both sides. And I'm done. So the letter D equals K over A, B, C, E. What did you say? Okay. The hardest thing I think that we will be faced, period, this year when it comes to this is this. Let's do H equals P over X. Solve for X. Okay, what makes it really hard is X is at the bottom of the fraction. But if you know how to kill fractions, it's not hard. So we do, how do we kill fractions? Cross multiply, I get HX equals P. Divide by H, X equals PH. And of course, this is only the solution if I solve for X. That's it.